Okay, time to do another update. I was planning on having an update in January, but I had a really unproductive month in January, so I didn't really get around to programming or doing much of anything. However, recently I've put in a little bit more hours, so I have some more progress. So I'm just going to start showcasing it now. Once again, the game always, at the moment, the game always starts a single player server with no one, like with the ability of multiple people connecting onto it, but no one else is connecting onto it. So that gives like a little bit of invisible overhead, which is why the frames per second is at only 600 at the moment, because the multiplayer just adds a bunch of invisible overhead because I'm using a library and I haven't gotten around to writing my own custom multiplayer code because it doesn't really need to. It's a turn-based game. It doesn't really need to continuously try and sync stuff. Anyway, I put in. I finally implemented the pathfinding. I had A-star pathfinding implemented already, but only in like a debugging capacity. I finally now have the AI moving the A-star or moving units along the A-star path because, in the past I was just working on target acquisition because there's no point having pathing if the ability for the AI to find a reasonable province to inhabit is not very good. So I'm just going to disable the overlay for a bit. There we go. And let me just enlarge this this window. Huzzah! So the game is currently set up in a way where the AI will start a war between Germany, Austria-Hungary, Russia, and France. And when that war starts, you'll see the pathing come into action. The war also finishes, and when the war finishes, some provinces change hands. Because the AI has no random elements inside of it, the war almost always pans out the same way. So, just a few turns of nothing happening. There we go. Here we should see the units pathing. You can see that the Russians have to come away from all the way over there. And these little fortresses, they act as though they're little units. So, for example, when a hostile army is attacking the fortress, it'll behave as though it's an actual defending unit. So that's why they kind of stagger offensive armies. So the war is going to conclude fairly quickly because I've been, as you can see here, I've implemented. You might not be able to see this because it's a little bit small, but I've implemented war exhaust. So if a province becomes occupied, and I've taken out the war exhaust from casualties because it was causing it was causing surrenders to happen way too quickly. But yeah, so if the more a country's occupied, the more likely they are to surrender, and we'll probably get to see that. Yeah, with Germany capitulating right now. And there we go, the war is over. And only Alsace-Lorraine changed hands. So, yeah. So there's definitely a bit of... what just happened there was the AI was still completing its attack paths before they got relocated because the war was over. So there's definitely still some stuff that I have to... play around with, but so far pretty pleased with the performance of it. I can definitely optimize it a whole bunch more, and I'm looking forward to making more updates on this. I'm feeling a lot more productive this month, so hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of progress done. I'm planning on doing at least one update every month. I wasn't able to do one last month because I was sort of in the middle of a whole bunch of features. and as I mentioned, I hadn't spent much time on it. But yeah, now that a couple of new features have been added, and yeah, I'll make another update in another month. Later.